It's 2025 already. I was still getting used to writing 2024 on the dates, but now it's 2025. Honestly though, I've got a good feeling about this year. 2025 is such a pretty number. I'm sure you've seen those videos that talk about 2025 in mathematical terms, about how it's like the square of 45, which is 20 plus 25. But aside from that, I've got a good feeling. So if 2024 wasn't the best year for you, hang in there, because we've got a new year, baby, and it's going to be better. Anyway, let's get into today's video, Pinterest Study Motivation. Whenever I don't want to study, but because of my conscience, I can't just full on watch YouTube videos, I go on Pinterest, which isn't that much better, but still. And I look up study motivations, study aesthetic, you know the whole spiel. There's a lot of posts, but I can't study unless I find the one that really gets to me, because my motivation changes every time. So this video, I'm going to be showing you guys some Pinterest study motivation posts that I found and adding my commentary. Let's go. Number 1, the quote that got me through this finals. The cost of procrastination is the life we could have lived. I saw someone saying this in a video and it really hit hard. In my mind, I was thinking, if the life I could have lived is 100, then the time I spent not doing anything has cost me about 10% of that. So I better stop procrastinating and start studying. I guess this works well if you have a goal that you're working towards. For instance, personally, I want to be able to provide a more than comfortable life to my parents, my grandparents, my family, and to think that I could live that if I start on whatever I need to do is a good motivator for me. So this is the quote that really got me to study this finals. Number 2, wallpaper that got me to put my phone down. Again, I can't stop scrolling until I'm satisfied with my findings. So I must admit, even after I saw the quote that I mentioned before, I didn't immediately put my phone down because I didn't find the satisfying wallpaper that I wanted. But a few minutes later, I found this. You versus you. The quote itself is something I believe in. And I guess it's not just talking about studying. Your overall goals and being disciplined also relate to this. In high school, our grades were dependent on how other students did as well. So if you were in the top 4%, you would get 1등급, which is the highest that you could get, and the lower the number, the higher you were. So it was very easy to think, ooh, I hope my friends and other students mess up or don't do well on this test. And it's perfectly understandable to think that because that's how our education system is built. And of course, it's not really good, but it is the reality to think that. So I don't blame people for thinking that. And if beating competition is a good motivator for you, go on. But for me, studying was just me versus me. If I studied hard enough, then during the test, whether I get a good grade or not is just all up to me to not make a mistake. It's a battle between me and myself. And even while studying, putting down my phone, putting in just a bit more information into my brain, doing at least one more practice question, those are all things that I have to get through, and that's competing with me and only me. So whether you're trying to study or trying to do a project that you've been putting off, remember that that is the battle that we have to go through. So yeah, I was satisfied with this wallpaper. The aesthetic was on point. I liked the simplicity. This was actually my wallpaper from that day until the end of finals. And after I found this, I actually started studying. Next is something I don't really agree with. let your sleep schedule be chaotic, not your marks. And right next to it, I'm seeing this comment that says, guys, please don't do this. I know late night study sessions are calm and pleasing because the world is silent and quiet at that time, but we must and should prioritize our sleep. In later stages of our life, we will face a lot of health issues. Trust me, your body needs rest, and by rest, I mean a proper 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Sleep early, wake up early. Good comment. I agree with this, except I'm not one to say you should wake up early because I don't wake up early. But I can say try not to stay up all night studying. For me, I've actually done this once in my entire life, and it was actually for this semester's final, because there was this subject where after I took midterms, I decided I didn't really need to put in that much time and effort into finals like I did to midterms. But about 2 days before final exams, I realized I was wrong. I severely underestimated the depth and amount of information I needed for finals. Plus, I had another test the same day, and so I made the executive decision of staying up all night studying. And that was the first time I had ever not slept. So I really don't recommend you do this during your high school years because, first of all, it's not healthy. And let's be honest, are you studying until 3 a.m. or are you studying late, trying to make up for not studying during the day? Think about that. But also, if you're not sleeping, you're probably sleeping during class. And that is one of my biggest pet peeves, something I can't fathom myself doing. I mean, I understand that you're tired, and I would honestly love to sleep as well, but the teacher's right there. I guess if the teacher isn't really that passionate, it's fine, but there are some teachers who are really trying to teach us stuff, and I would like it if more students paid attention. But I digress. In conclusion, if you're not getting enough sleep, not only are you not healthy, you're also not going to be able to retain as much information as you could have if you had a few more hours of sleep. So although this may look aesthetic to some of you guys, personally, it's not my cup of tea and I do not recommend it. The fourth one, this is something that inspired me to do this video. Don't forget, you can start late, start over, be unsure, try and fail, and still succeed. I don't know if this really motivated me or if I just liked the format because it's cute, but it's true and I wanted you guys to hear it too, especially because we're entering a new year. If you're doing fine, this might not mean anything to you, but if you're someone who really needed to hear this, hear this. It's true. If you try hard enough, you will be able to succeed. If you messed up your midterms, you'll still have finals. If you messed up so bad last year, we still have a new year. And if you think you're so late to studying in your life, it's still fine. You will still be able to make it. So I hope you don't give up. Now, giving up is a whole nother story that I want to delve into, but not too deep, because I can't say never give up. In reality, there are things that might just not work. Call it destiny or fate, but it just might not. But studying, I think, is one of those few things that allow us to keep trying. I have a lot to say, but this isn't the video for it. So let's move on to the next one, which is number 5. Motivation for materialistic people, including me. If you want to buy without looking at the price, you gotta work without looking at the clock. I'm not really focused on the latter part, but the first part. I've become an adult and I have my own adult money. And there are so many things I want to buy, but some are too expensive. I should be responsible. And I'm not saying money is everything, but in this capitalistic society, it is important. And if you want to live a life without having to care about the price tag, about all the financial stuff, isn't sacrificing your time studying worth it? Honestly, I'd go far as to say studying is never not worth it. Even if you're not a student, learning is always worth it. And for me, again, like I mentioned before, the dream, the reality that I could give my parents or those around me financial comfortability is a real passion of mine. And similar to that, we have study, you like expensive things, and parents have given you more than enough. It's payback time. This might not be for everyone because I know that there are some parents out there who are just so bad. And if you have one of those people, then just think about yourself. You deserve a better life. It's payback time for yourself. Next, we have quotes that remind us how studying can actually be fun. Revise till you're excited for the exam. I mean, don't you ever have that feeling of when you're studying and you're just so excited for the exam and you just can't wait for the exam date? I don't know if that's just me, but there is this kind of feeling. That's the first one. Studying is actually relaxing if you can get past the first 10 minutes. Again, this is just reminding myself that studying can be fun. I mean, do you ever get the feeling where you're studying the day before the exam and it's actually pretty fun and you're thinking, whoa, I would have loved this if I had studied just even a day earlier. I always have this regret, so don't be like me, okay? Remember, studying is fun, okay? It's hard to start, but again, starting is always the hardest. Finally, some runner-ups. Start unknown, finish unforgettable. Okay, you might think it's cringe, I might think it's cringe, but it kind of works. Let's continue. We also have study until you can't get it wrong. I hope you win the war you tell no one about. Every time you say, I'll do it tomorrow, someone has already started. Not stupid, you just need to practice. Didn't wake up to be fudging average. Your laziness is disrespectful to the people who believe in you. And finally, dreams so big you get uncomfortable telling small-minded people. Again, this is sort of like the elitist, cringe, but also motivational part. So yeah, that was what I gathered and looked at this finals. And I really want to pursue this YouTuber thing, but I'm still struggling to get past the procrastination part. And we all say new year, new me, so I thought this was a good opportunity to not only share to you guys, but to myself as well, some motivational stuff. And remember, 2025 is going to be such a good year. So smile, be happy, be kind, and well, that's it. See you soon. Subscribe. Bye.